Over the weekend, a prominent Broadway actor passed away after a long COVID infection. This is Nick Cordero, known for his roles in Rock of Ages, Waitress, Bullets Over Broadway, and A Bronx Tale The Musical. Died on Sunday after complications from COVID-19 over several months. He was 41. His death was announced on Instagram by his wife, Amanda Klutz. The couple who moved from New York to Los Angeles last year have a one-year-old son, Elvis. Understand, I know some people will see focusing on the death of any one individual as odd because so many die. Even over the weekend, where coronavirus deaths have gone down to the lowest they've been at for months, still hundreds of individuals have died. But one reason, look, any individual death is itself a tragedy, but one reason I think that people need to see this is people have, even after all that we've been through, such a weird idea of what coronavirus is like, what being infected by it is like. They have been convinced by the media and by Trump that 99% are nothing. The cases don't matter at all. You're fine. Or you die, and you only die because you were 90. That's it. And that's not at all what it was actually like. Nick Cordero was 41, was apparently in very good health. Initially, was hospitalized originally back in March of this year. Throughout his stay in the hospital, he underwent a leg amputation, was given a temporary pacemaker, and was put into a medically induced coma. He'd been in the intensive care unit for more than 90 days and suffered from additional complications like lung infections and septic shock. And along the way, the wife that we mentioned earlier, Amanda Klutz, had given updates and had some encouraging news that back on April 24th, this is months ago, had 2 negative COVID-19 tests. Months ago. And at some point came out of the coma as well. She said the virus was apparently out of his system. This is, again, months ago. But this 41-year-old...
He had negative tests.
Exactly. After having had it, then was out of his system, but still suffered months of complications that eventually resulted in his death. And even if he had pulled through, would have been permanently affected for the rest of his life by it. The amputation, the lingering issues with internal organs and all that. And that is an experience that many people have that is not talked about. That this is not just a thing where the vast majority of people don't experience anything. And even those who do, very few of them die. No, people are maimed for the rest of their lives. Yes. And they're not just older. That would be a tragedy enough by itself. This guy was 41 and died as a result of this disease. So I think that in a lot of ways, this case shows how serious this is in ways that people don't often acknowledge.
Absolutely. I mean, I wanted to ask people on my Instagram, just like, who's suffered from COVID? Who knows anyone? And in just 24 hours, I got 60 responses. And these are people you won't see on the news, but everyone who had themselves gotten COVID and had a fever for 10 days, have like permanent lung stuff going on now. It was really touch and go. They were scared, or whose family members or whose husbands and fathers and aunts or cousins passed away or were hospitalized, or just, didn't look like they would make it and then actually did make it. But like, it has touched so many people. Just ask around. We don't talk about it enough. We don't talk about healthcare enough, to be honest with you. So we're sort of meant to suffer in silence. We're meant to suffer alone. It's like when we treat people when they're sick, okay, just go away and deal with it. Don't talk to me about it. Let's not do that. That's what our, president is doing. If we can call him that, let's be better than that and reach out to one another and inform one another about what's going on and try to help where we can. And I mean, this guy had Broadway lungs, you guys. Do you know what it takes to have Broadway lungs? You know how good you have to sing? You know how good? You know how much air you got to hold in there? And he was, and he still passed away.
Yeah. Yeah, just devastating. And I know, well, there's so many tributes online. And then I just think about, like, how many days in a row did we have 750 deaths on average? And people had moved on. We're like, nah, it's not 2,500 anymore, so I don't care. And you know what? For weeks, it was like 500 to 700. And I looked recently for a photo of 500 people. And I found one of a theater that supposedly had about 500 people in it. And it is a massive number of people, a massive number of families and networks of friends and coworkers and all of that. And every one of these is a tragedy. And there are so many of them. So many. 200 is a lot. I mean, And the idea that everybody's just spiking the football literally every day, even as the numbers of cases go up and, people are being hospitalized and again are being maimed. And it's to the point where I'm not even doing this as a full story, but over the weekend, a story came out that the White House is writing their new message for the country on coronavirus. And it is, we need to live with it. Which isn't just stupid and a surrender and below the dignity of the White House or whatever. It's also stupid messaging because a lot of us can't live with it because it kills us. And it's killing hundreds of people literally every day. All sorts of people, older people, young people, those with pre-existing conditions, those without. It is killing people. We can't live with it. And the idea that the White House is just going to admit that they are done, that they give up, is amazing.
Yeah, no, it should be. We need to give up on preventing unnecessary death. We need to live with looking the other way when our loved ones die and we're not able to be by their side.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And if it happens to you, too bad. Everyone else is going to look the other way and live with it. We are a failed country, man. Honestly, at this point, look at us. We are, what? Twice as many deaths as the next greatest country with death toll, like in Brazil, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Twice as many deaths, you guys. This is not rocket scientist. Science. There we go. Coffee's kicking in.
Neither of us are rocket scientists. So don't worry.
Neither us know. Okay. I didn't take trigonometry. The point is that every other country has gotten this right. You don't need to be that smart to stay inside, to issue a national federal order for people to wear masks, for people to stay inside, to not open things up. And, we love to get down on Trump, but then we laud people like Cuomo or like Newsom. No. Cuomo and Newsom have also not done a great job. I mean, especially over in California, our cases are on the rise again with no signs really of slowing down. We're trying to close things that we reopened prematurely. And all of this goes to show and is the reason why not only do we need Medicare for all, but we need an economic plan that can help people stay at home. Because right now, workers are being given a choice between life and death, and that is absolutely not fair. And we can do better by them.
Yeah.
And change the tax code. I don't know. Do whatever you have to do. Make Elon and Bezos finally cough it up. Pay up, man.
Especially
Seriously, though,
Elon,
especially Elon. But seriously, that's where we're at right now. So it is a frustrating point, and it is you cannot make the comparison with any other country because we are an outlier because of our ignorance and our arrogance, which again is the brand of this ridiculous administration that we have.
Yeah. Not just arrogance and ignorance. Arrogance.
Arrogance.
That's what we have. That's our brand. Or ignorance.
Rocket science.
One of the two. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.